What's up, everybody? This is Johnny Basement. We're back here in the basement for the retirement of Joe Daniher. Joe Daniher retired. Man, before we get started on this, subscribe, bell notice, hit the like button, drop your comments down below, drop your thoughts down below. This guy was incredible for the Brisbane Lions. Now, I'd only gotten into footy a couple of years ago, like 2023. So I watched the 2022 Grand Final. That was the first I ever watched. Sydney Swans versus Geelong Cats. Yes, it was not that exciting of a game, but I got a lot of things down watching that game. Watching that game got a lot of things down for me. Watching a lot of footy replays over the course of time got a lot of down for me. So I didn't really know about Joe Daniher's position before the Lions. I just knew that a lot of people told me, a lot of Bomber fans, I guess, told me that watch out for the guy. He's there and then he's not there. He plays when he feels like playing, then he plays, I understand we got players like that over here on teams that I like, so I was like, okay, let's see what we got. I didn't see any of that with him, at least not on the Lions. I wasn't, like I said, I've only been a fan a couple years, so I don't know what he did on the Bombers. I don't know. But I do know what he did for the Lions. What he did for the Lions, he was Johnny on the spot all the time. The guy was an absolute team player. The guy came to play. And apparently after that 4-point loss to the Collingwood Pies last year, had they won that grand final, apparently Daniher told Fagan that had they won, he was going to retire, but he wanted to stick around another season to see if they can get that done. Whether he would have stuck around again had they lost again, I don't know. But Chris Fagan apparently knew it the whole year, that if they won the whole thing, he was going to retire. And he would have retired already had they beaten Collingwood last season in that close, great grand final. What a first couple of years for me in footy. What a first couple of years for me. You see that right there, that New York Jets, and people that follow me know I'm a diehard New York Jets, Knicks, Rangers, and Yankees fan. Seen all my other teams in their finals in their respective sports. Never seen that team, fan since '81. I've seen them come close within one game 4 times, and they lost all 4. 82, 98, 09, and 10. And the St. Kilda fans, shout out to you guys that pointed out that St. Kilda is the New York Jets of footy. So I'm glad I didn't pick them. I don't need 2 of that in my life. So thank you. And the guys that did point that out in the comments, I read them. You St. Kilda fans, thank you, and I feel for you. As a New York Jets fan, I really feel for you because I'm in the same freaking boat. They won a championship in 1969. I wasn't around for it. I've only seen 4 conference championship games, and we lost all 4. So St. Kilda fans, shout out to you and all the ones that said they felt my pain. I feel yours too. I really do. So anyway, I come here and I get the Lions for 2 years in a row, and Joe Daniher was a big part of that. Big part of that. I was excited to see him play. Look at him in the whole finals period. There was times he was Johnny on the spot. Right at the goal line, he robbed Neil of that goal. If you remember, he robbed Neil of a goal. He came around and went right at the line and caught that ball. Like, there was amazing parts of comebacks that he was a part of. 8:37 left versus the Cats. 8:27, excuse me. In the third quarter, down by 44 points, and that was to the Giants. Not the Cats, the Giants. Down by 44 points. Big part of that comeback there. What a shout out to him. Now, I did look up a little bit about his career. He's not the first guy to retire after a championship. We've had guys over here do that also. John Elway retired after his Super Bowl win in '99. Peyton Manning retired after his Super Bowl win. Ray Lewis, Dominic Hasek, Ray Borg. Like, there's names upon names upon names. Michael Strahan. All these guys won championships and retired. What's throwing me off is Daniher's retiring at 30 years old. Will he stay retired? There's plenty of players that say they're going to retire and then they come back. Floyd Mayweather is one of them. He retired after, I think he was 47-0 when he retired in 2015. Now, he's made appearances here and there. He's come back. So you don't know, man, because I think the fire still burns within these players to come back. Do they not? The fire still burns to come back, and he's so young. He's 30. Like, why? Does anybody else see anything why he's retiring? I mean, I get it. You retire on top, you won a championship, but why not come back with the Lions, who have a legitimate shot at winning again next season? A legitimate shot at winning again next season. They made it 2 in a row. I'm spoiled already with my footy team. I've watched it 2 years. My team has made the granny 2 times in a row. Now I expect it every year. But with Loman the Showman, self-proclaimed, Will Ashcroft, Lockie Neal, Cameron, You got some team. You got some players. Oscar will be back. Shout out to Oscar McIntyre. They'll be back. But I looked up a little bit on Danihers History. And you guys, Bomber fans, can help me out with something else because this is not a history on the Bombers. But he was drafted by Essendon in 2012. I almost went to the top of my head, but I didn't. 2012 he was drafted. I would have been wrong on that. So he's seen the highs and the lows. He's won the premiership. He's been to it 2 years in a row. He was part of a 3-win wooden spoon team with the Essendon Bombers in 2016. Now, apparently, and I don't know anything about this, so Bomber fans, help me out because I don't know the history on this. But it said in 2016, the Bombers, there was 34 current and former players that were suspended for the season for a drug scandal. I didn't know that until I looked that up. Until I looked up Daniher's history with the Bombers. Didn't know that. What happened there? 34 players, current and former, suspended for a drug scandal in 2016. Somebody explain that to me because I don't know what's going on with that. So he got the wooden spoon, so he's seen a 3-win season, which is awful, awful. To go a long season knowing that you're not going anywhere, that your team is not going anywhere. But this happened before Daniher. He wasn't a part of it. Apparently it happened the year he was drafted. Is that right? 2012? And then the players got suspended a few years afterwards. He had nothing to do with it. It's like Jose Altuve over here on the Houston Astros. He was a young player, he was a rookie player. A lot of veterans on that team. Everybody, if you don't know, the Houston Astros were cheating their whole way through the World Championship, the World Series. They were banging trash cans to let you know the pitch count. They were signals, signs, stealing signs, doing all of this nasty stuff to let the batter at plate know what pitch was coming. They literally would bang the trash can a couple of times. Jose Altuve said he didn't want to be a part of it. But he was a rookie, so he didn't sell anybody out either. He just said, I don't want to be a part of that. When I go up to a bat, I want to legitimately have a real at-bat, not being told what pitch is coming. So the whole country hated him and the Astros, and when we found out later on, even the veteran said, yeah, he wanted nothing to do with it. He didn't say anything, but he wanted nothing to do with it. Being a rookie on the team, how do you say stuff against guys that are veterans on the team that are... Some may have been going to the Hall of Fame. Some players were real established in the league and you're new. Probably not going to say anything. Probably not. So, anyway, that's steering off. Joe Daniher, career, 395 goals in 12 seasons combined with the Bombers and the Lions. 395 goals. He won the All-Australian in 2017. He made the Bombers best and fairest, the AFL Mark of the Year, and the Anzac Medal, all in the same season. Now, Bomber fans, help me out with this too. Help me out with this too. It says it was All-Australian in 2017. He was the Bombers' best and fairest, the AFL Mark of the Year, and the Anzac Medal the same year. Was all of that in the same year or just some of that? Because it didn't really clarify. I looked up a couple of different things. Didn't really clarify it was all in the same year. It just said in the same season, so I don't know which one they were talking about. But whatever the case, he won all of them, and that's what's important. The guy was a beast, man. He really was. He was a 6-time leading goal scorer between the Bombers and the Lions combined. Between the Bombers and the Lions combined. This guy was Johnny on the spot. Personally, retiring at 30 years old and from my sports knowledge over here, we've seen players retire young, early, and always expected them to come back. A lot of them do. A lot of guys come back because some people are lost without the sport that they enjoy playing. They miss a lot of them say they miss the camaraderie with their teammates. The game, yes, but the camaraderie with their teammates, they miss a lot of that as well. I'm curious to see how long Joe Daniher stays out. If anybody else knows other reasons why he retired, please tell me. We had Barry Sanders over here. You guys must have heard of Barry Sanders. He wanted one of the greatest running backs of all time. Some people tell you he's the greatest running back of all time. He retired at such a young age. He could have beaten my personal favorite, Walter Payton's record at the time. Could have beaten it. The guy was everywhere, and he just suddenly retired. Didn't tell anybody, just suddenly retired. And he wasn't that old. And everybody's like, oh, he'll come back. He'll come back. People despise that he retired so much that the home team booed him at one point. The Detroit Lion fans booed him at one time. I can't even imagine that. But they did. They love him now, of course, but because they wanted to still see him play. They wanted to still see him play, and they were so shocked that their organization at the time was so pathetic. So pathetic. That was their one bright point. At least we can watch Barry. They showed the Lions every Thanksgiving Day, and it was so they could watch Barry Sanders. People that weren't Lions fans said, well, the Lions suck, but at least we get to see Barry Sanders play. And that's what made Thanksgiving watching them better, because you just got to watch a legend in the making. So Daniher, I know, is not that status in footy. I know he's not that kind of status, but he's 30 years old. I don't think he's going to retire for long. I just don't. I think he's going to come back. How can you walk away from a team that could probably win it again next season? Maybe. It's going to be a big loss for the Lions, a huge loss. Let's see what happens next time, guys. But I had to do a video today. A big shout out to Joe Daniher. Thank you for my short time in footy. Thank you so much for bringing me joy with one team and still waiting on that one. Bringing me the joy as a Brisbane Lion fan for 2 years now, and I picked them in February or March of 2023. To those that think I hopped on a wagon, I didn't. February, March of 2023, go back to my videos, and that's when I picked my team long before the season started. So that's where we're at right now, guys. So appreciate the support in here, and I'll be bringing footy videos and some footy talk during the off season, and I get it now, guys. There's footy season, and there's waiting for footy season. Totally get it now. Can't wait to see you guys again in here, and we'll just jump in here. I do all types of sports. We'll talk soon. Subscribe, bell notice, hit the like button, drop your comments down below, and Bomber fans, let me know why they got rid of Joe Daniher to begin with. I'm Johnny Basement, and I am